Come on, man.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of editing with it, just to know that. Are you the editor?
No, I got a guy that's gonna edit. Yeah, someone else can do all that work.
All right,
Do it.
action.
Yeah,
Tyler Duncan.
All right.
All right, you want this? All right.
Tyler Duncan.
Hey, super excited about today's guest at the Founders Lounge podcast, Tyler Duncan with Duncan Design Group. Over 20 years of making everything happen from restaurants, hotels. I mean, I can't even imagine your portfolio of work is beyond incredible. You know, I would hate to have to apply for a job at your place. But,
Thank you.
but I see that on your website, you seem like you're looking for fun people. You guys like to teach. You're not just there cracking the whip.
Right.
So how in the world do you do it? I mean, to be able to lead the industry the way you are for 20 years. I mean, just right off the bat, so many people want to be in your shoes, and you're making it happen. So
Yeah, we just take an approach as more of a studio approach in our industry, or not industry, but my office. Develop friendships. We become more not like a family business, but we treat all of our employees like family. We cook on Fridays. Everyone that has an idea is not a bad idea. It's always welcome their idea. I started this. My father was in the business. He was a nightclub guru in the early '80s.
yeah, that was a good time to be in the nightclub business.
So he was the guy. So I kind of grew up in that, and they kind of just would just step, in the background and just kind of observe what he did. Every once in a while, I'll go to his office and start drawing. Then I decided, I said, Dad, what should I do? Should I do advertising or should I do interior design? Which he was interior design major, or architecture. He's like, I think you should do architecture. It's like, why? Architecture, you can fall back on a lot of things if you have an architectural degree. You can do anything. You can do the advertising if you want to. You can do interior design. So I did that, got my master's into it. During my master's program, I pretty much paid for my school. Like, I had a full scholarship. But I decided to pay for all my other things like car, apartment, a new baby, which I had during my master's.
that gets expensive.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that little still working for. He's still on my payroll right now. So anyway, I did that, and I did it kind of like a little design build thing during school to kind of get by. And this is before cell phones. Like, this is like crazy. It's just the things.
Was it the Miami Vice cell phones, the big ones? You know what I'm talking about?
I finally had that brick phone. I don't know if you had that brick phone. I thought that was really cool. Tried to put it in my back pocket and it would fall out. But no, I just everywhere I would go in my career, I would just stumble on something and it would just kind of fall in my lap. And so like I went to a car place to get my car fixed, and a guy was just talking to me, and I said, hey, this is kind of what I do. And he's like, so it led to renovating his little auto shop, and then I took my dog to a veterinarian and started talking to him. He's like, hey, I got a veterinarian thing. I want you to renovate this. So I did all that. So fast forward, I got out of school. My father was like, I want you to work for me, but you're not. So why? So you got to learn it on your own, and then come to us. So I did that. I worked for a major hospitality design company. Did major hotels, traveled all over the country, just doing that. And then finally, he's like, you know what? I think it's time to come on and
I think you've already passed the qualifications.
I joined the firm.
You're good. You already passed the interviewing process. Did you do like a 3-step interviewing process?
Actually, he actually had the senior designers interview me.
Oh wow! Okay,
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
you got
So
like that. I know really push.
No, it's a tough thing coming into a family business. You don't want to be in there just because of your name.
Right.
You want to be able to show, like, no, I can actually do the work.
Yep.
I think that's a pretty interesting process. So was there anything about that interview that stood out? You remember?
I think the people that were interviewing me they're like, why am I here? He's going to get hired anyway, maybe. But there was a lot of animosity, believe it or not. But when I would work for my father, I would call him Turner. I'd never call him Dad. Try to keep that separate between family and son. And then in the early 2000s, there was layoffs. So I survived the first layoff, and of course, the father son, he's not going to get laid off. And then so 9/11 happened. I was sitting there drawing, watching. I was about to fly to New York like the next 2 days just for another project. And,
so you dodged a bullet.
Some guy went to his apartment, grabbed one of those big tube TVs, and dragged it to the office, and we're all watching, what's going down. And so the whole hospitality industry just went to shit. Just all the projects that they had were just canceled. So I got laid off. So my father, he took me to a place, and he's like, I just want to let you know, it's like, this is about to happen. I told my partners, I don't want my son to suffer. And if he ever needs money, we're going to give him money. And I looked at him and said, I'll never make that call. At that time, I was kind of doing some side work. I was doing a nightclub, kind of like on the side, kind of moonlighting. Because had a young family, just making probably $35,000 a year, which is nothing back then.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Dad, I'll be fine. I'll do a nightclub. I'm doing this, and I convinced the guy, hey, I can build it for you.
So beyond the design, you're like, no, I'm gonna get the job done.
Yeah, I'll get it done. I'll build it. I'll do all the branding, everything you see and touch. I'll handle, no problem. And ever since then, it just took off. I do zero marketing. It's all word of mouth. It's all referral based. And since 2002, it's been a blessing.
Wow,
that's amazing.
Yeah. That's an extensive history of all the relationships you've built throughout. So your name is out in Dallas. So for those who don't know Tyler Duncan, how did you become one of the leading restaurant design experts in the industry?
I don't know if I'm the lead. No,
I don't know, because every restaurant I go to,
that.
did Tyler Duncan design this restaurant?
I do have a name. I'm very humble about it.
Yeah.
I don't brag about it. I hate talking about myself. But it's all referral based. There's like he's has good character. He's very honest, and he does what he says he's going to do. And our projects are always end up being successful.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now you do beyond that. You're doing all kind of commercial, retail, fitness spaces.
No, we've done
kind of
fitness.
dialed in now. Restaurants, like it's more the.
It's more restaurants. About 99% of it is restaurants.
Do you primarily like to only focus on restaurants? Is that for a reason, or? It's
kind of what it was landed to me, and what I like about it is it's very creative. It's the sky's the limit. Medical or banks or anything, or healthcare or whatever. It's just boring.
Well, restaurants also are kind of like. They're not always like a super established major chain. This is something you're coming in boutique.
Yes,
people have a vision. Mm-hmm. So how can you walk us through a process? So let's say I just really want to burn some money and I want to open a restaurant. How does that process start of kind of figuring out what their vision is and to implement that? I mean,
we take the approach. I'll get the call and it's like, let me meet you in person. I don't want to do a Zoom call. I want to see the space. I really want to walk the space and feel it.
So you'll meet in the space where they're wanting to do everything? Okay.
Yeah. And then we'll talk about it. It'll be either an empty space or an existing space that we have to retrofit. Then we kind of get into like their overall vision is and kind of hear them out. Because we really don't have a set style when it comes to our design firm. We make their vision more of a reality. So we take their vision, and if they don't even have a vision, we kind of help them.
Coach them along a little bit.
Coach them along the way. Yeah.
Hey, here's current trends. Yep. This is what's working well in this area.
Right. Yep.
This is maybe good in LA. We don't have it here in DFW, or depending on the city, maybe.
And it's all project, like every project's different when it comes to that. So a lot of times they'll say, I like this, or they'll give me an example of like, I really like this place in Scottsdale. Like, can we do something like that in here? So
yeah, but that may fit in Scottsdale, but maybe not so much in Dallas.
Correct. And a lot of people, they get in trouble they thinking things will work in this area. And
so it's kind of knowing the market too.
Knowing the market,
knowing the customer base,
knowing who your customer is what's the most important thing.
And that kind of ties into my next question. Like, what are some of the biggest mistakes restaurant owners make when designing a location?
Location is one that they'll either pick the cheap rent, and then
not good,
and then they'll just be off the beaten path, and then they'll realize there's no walk by or traffic. That's one mistake. Not having enough money they always think things don't cost that much, and they end up costing a lot more than they anticipated. I've actually talked myself out of a lot of jobs because they'll come to me. It's like, I had this X amount of money. I was like, you're not going to have enough money.
But you need operating costs, payroll,
There's a lot.
Advertising. You got to get it.
There's
full.
a lot of stuff that goes in. It goes down to the napkin. You have to have everything accounted for. And you need at least 3 months opening, like operating expenses, just to open the doors.
Beyond just.
Yep.
And if you
Just
have
as a
any
cushion.
type of delays, you're.
Delays with construction that'll hurt you if you're paying rent, which a lot of my clients that's happened with contractors. They'll be building and they're paying $30,000 a month just in rent. Even like restaurants, they'll go into a renovation, they'll close down, they're still paying that rent and they're not getting any revenue.
So have you ever thought about opening your own restaurant?
I actually did.
I want to hear about it. Like
it
if
was the worst mistake in my life. Yeah,
You did open it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I had this notion I can do like a little mini Eatsies in downtown Plano.
Yeah.
It was the worst mistake ever. And what
It's like a 24-hour gig, man.
It wasn't really a restaurant. It was more like kind of a grab and go and like beer to go, wine to go. It was just horrible. And what I learned from that is the restaurants survive on the alcohol. There's more profit in alcohol than there is food. So when a restaurant's doing 40% alcohol, they're doing good. There's no waste.
That's the sweet spot?
That's the sweet spot. And because there's no waste. There's no waste in alcohol. It's
If people order it, they're drinking it.
Yep.
You're done.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about food spoiling anything.
Yep. And there's trends that we do like with like in nightclub design. People when they're holding their drink, they tend to just drink it, right? They don't. So in like our nightclub designs, we don't allow a place for them to put their drink down.
So you purposely don't want it shelving.
Just let them just purposely keep drinking.
Dang.
Yeah, my hand's getting cold. Hold on.
Yeah.
My throat's dry. Hold on.
Yeah. Which mine is too.
Yeah. That's pretty neat. So even your design elements, not just to make a place look cool and have a cool vibe, you're thinking strategically for a nightclub. That's one small trick. So like, are there a couple other things you can suggest? Maybe just sort of not industry secrets, but things like not having so much space for them
Well,
to
that kind
have
of
a
ties into my
drink.
next question. So I'm going to answer that one. So how much does restaurant design actually impact revenue and customer experience?
It's all about flow. It's all about efficiency. It's even your bar equipment design. You don't want your bartender making too many steps. Especially in a fast-paced restaurant or a bar. If they have to take 10 steps this way, that time just adds up. So, looking at the back of the house, looking at flow, customers. You'll probably never hear a designer say this. Design's not number one when it comes to restaurants. It's not.
It's more operations.
It's service. Service is number one.
Okay.
The food is number two. Design's last, believe it or not. So what we try to do is create these moments, and something that's memorable. So when they're talking about it or they're posting on social media, that's kind of free advertising for them. So like what we try to do is everywhere you look, there's a moment, something that's just wow, that's batshit cool, Mm-hmm. And then our designs get very detailed, like things that you probably would never see.
Like if you sit around and look around, like one of the restaurants I went to, remember like the whole booth with the gals, like they were just all belts.
Yep.
That was.
Yep, that was Cattleman's, yeah.
Cattleman's, yeah, man.
Taylor Sheridan's restaurant, yeah.
Okay, so nowadays, I mean, have you seen a shift though? So since social media came on, and you have opportunities for these Instagrammable moments for people to share, that's just free advertising. Has it changed your design process, like pre-social media, post-social media? I mean, is it?
We always try to find those Instagrammable moments because we know it's going to happen, and it's been there for a long time. We try to do it even a high-end steakhouse. We try to find that little like Easter egg for someone just to capture and just to post, just to create the chatter. That's all we want. It's just to chatter. There's like not much advertising goes on for restaurants. No one's listening to radio. Radio doesn't really exist anymore. Everyone's listening. Like Spotify, or whatever. There's advertising. It's just not there for restaurants.
The Instagram, seeing the girrs enjoying the drinks,
you
like at Mi
kinda
Cocina,
rely- you
like
really
the
rely on that.
margaritas. That's like
We rely on that, and then just the chatter. You know, the girl
Really?
telling
It's
the
the
other
true,
girl. Yeah.
it's the true
Yeah.
back end people telling you like, hey man, I just ate this place. You got to go check it out.
And it's not. It's about the experience, and it's all of it. It's the service, it's the food, and it's the ambiance. It's just creating an experience. And if you can't create that, then it's
I don't
hard
think
to
I've ever had a
compete.
bad experience. I'm gonna kind of give you a little bit of street cred, but I don't think I've ever had a bad experience in any of the restaurants I ate that you've designed,
Thank you. Yeah.
which is awesome. So it ties to my next question: what trends are you seeing right now in restaurant designs that operators need to pay attention to?
You know, restaurants were about being open. You know, like wide open spaces. We are now kind of dividing the spaces up a little. That only helps with the noise, but also when you're not full, you look full. So be able to kind of divide up the space a little so it's not so open. And yeah, for those reasons, yeah.
That kind of reminds me of the Disney ride. You know, like you think you're getting close to the ride, but you have to go through all these zigzags to get to the ride, but it looks like it's short. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay. What's changing in restaurant design because of customer behavior?
Customer, that's a great question. I think it's just the experience, you know, just trying to capture that experience because there's so much competition, and you're trying to grasp for that one customer, you know, like even like the cattlemen's and stockyards. It's just so many people are down there, and there's so many options, and you're just trying to offer something that no one else is offering.
Am I able to talk a little about Cattleman's or what you did? This is really cool because in the outside of Cattleman's, there's like a stand-up bar even before you go inside Cattleman's, right outside. That's really cool. And then there's like another inside patio, and you have like this awesome stage, and it's crazy. And then, but like you talked about, it's like you have like this center section, and when you walk in, you have another section, what you talked about.
Right.
It's like 3 or 4 sections, and you have the Cattleman's Club, but that is really cool. So if you're walking, just going to the stockyard, you can actually grab a drink and not even enter the
So
restaurant.
it's different stages. You may not be ready to sit down for dinner, but you may want to just pop in.
You can, yeah.
You can
pop in to have a drink.
What we did with that restaurant, this restaurant was from 1947. I mean, it's been added on multiple times and several owners. And then that patio used to be a parking lot. And so Cattleman's, you would think a steakhouse, you would want it dark, no outdoor patio, no live, like no energy. We made a steakhouse have a lot of energy.
Yeah, you did.
And so, you know, during the construction process, we learned that the patio was, we had to make everything flat with the existing opening because we had all these garage doors opening up to the patio and something flat. Well, the sidewalk kept on going down towards Billy Bob's. So we had like a 3-foot difference between. So we wanted this walk-up bar. You get a smash burger, get alcohol, and in stockyards you keep walking. You can grab a beer, keep walking.
You can be on the move.
Yep. So we had a dilemma. It's like, you know, like, oh, can I get a beer? So we actually, believe it or not, convinced the city it was just the most important thing to rip up their sidewalk, create a ramp up to the bar.
Because that was a historical landmark that you were cutting into, right? Was that part of the
not sidewalk, was it? No, but no. Yeah. We tore up some bricks, but we had to put them back. So, yeah.
Oh, I think like where we're at now, downtown Grapevine is a historical society. It's like these historical boards can, even downtown Orlando, they're dealing with a lot of things where it can really slow progress to a halt. I mean, you've got to be ready. You may have a vision like, hey, I want to open this thing here, but if you don't know all the rules and regulation, I think that's a huge part. So not just the design, but having that experience. You can have like an incredible genius designer, but if they don't know all of the people, the rules, the regulations, what you can actually get past.
Yep.
And that's a big part of the experience in your team.
Yep. Well, every city's different too. Like you build in Houston, it's going to take you 5-6 months to get a permit.
Just to even start.
Frisco the same way. I mean, probably one of the worst, people that the city has to work with.
Was it pretty simple over there at the stockyards, or just a little bit more difficult?
It was very simple, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And maybe because of the owner, but there were some regulations, but we met it. They allowed us to do some of the things that we wanted to do.
It seems like you do your extensive research before you build out a restaurant. Do you provide also not only design but the coaching for a business owner? Like, hey, I want to open this restaurant at this location. But do you do like a little bit of research before, like, hey, maybe this is a good idea if we put this like that bar? That's before you enter.
Well,
Catalans.
in terms of site selection, they've already kind of pre-selected a site. Like I said earlier, it's like I'll tell them that this site sucks. I'm just like, don't do it.
So you'd be like, hey, look, I know you already sunk some money in, but let's.
Yeah, and sometimes that they're they've gotten so they'll go on and hire someone else to do it, and then they'll come back to us like, I wish I listened to you. They get too far into it. They have no no return to get back. A point of no return. They can't get back. So they just have to keep on going, and hopefully they can survive.
So what, like in that situation, what are 3 things you've seen happen historically that can just really ruin a project before it even starts?
Not have enough money is one, for sure. Just not being educated. There's a lot of people that want to open up restaurants. They think this is the best thing. It's the number 1 failing business in the world. It is, really is. And it's probably the hardest.
Shout out to the pioneers that do it.
It's probably one of the
gosh,
hardest.
Damn.
Like you'll see a manager, they're working 60, 80 hours a week, and they're making $65,000, $70,000. Maybe. Some in the higher end restaurants are making a lot more, but yeah, they struggle. Yeah, they really struggle.
What are restaurant concepts are growing right now? Some of the fastest one that you're seeing.
Oh man, it's keeping everything independent. I think, the chains are suffering. They're trying to, like re-identify or rebrand and just to stay current. I think you'll see a lot more unique, standalone type concepts than you would than actual chains. So I think those are probably the things that, in terms of like, food offerings, if it's Mexican or steakhouse, it's all across the board. It depends where you're at. Like Texas is a lot of Tex-Mex, as you know. A lot of sports, sports bars.
So, one thing I see, I'm not studying bars much. I'm married with kids now. I'm not at bars as much, but younger people aren't drinking as much.
That is true.
And I feel like I'm drinking more than ever. I don't know. I'm turning 46. Since COVID, I haven't stopped.
Yeah.
Where do you see the trends have happened? Are you looking at, is the demographic, like you're talking about your ideal client, are they going after more of an older clientele to keep it going? Because so many people are always chasing that next market. Hey, we need to get the new Z Gen, whatever it's called. Like they're always going for the next market. I see that in the auto industry or different industries.
That's true.
Whereas, yes, that's where the money's going to be coming. But where's the money right now? Who's spending right now? Like, what's going to keep us floating the bills? And like, is that? And if most of your profits in the alcohol drinks, like what's happening? Like,
it's funny you ask that, because a lot of these, like we used to call them. You still probably call them this restaurants. You have girls that are pretty much naked, serving you.
I like those kind of restaurants.
Those are not as popular anymore. A lot of people are not going to them.
Hooters shut down over there.
And then draft beer sales are on a decline. We have a client at Little Woodrow's. They used to offer like tons of beer. They're like, they're drinking spirits. They've kind of gotten away from the draft beer.
So they've actually shrunk their line down.
They're drinking Topo Chico,
which is great for them. Spirits, you make a little bit more money, and the cooler space that you need to have for draft beer kind of goes down, and just a system of a draft beer system is expensive. So yeah, sports bars they've kind of gone down. Even like Twin Peaks, they're suffering. Yeah.
What would you say is some of the biggest budget mistake restaurant owners make during the build out?
Again, probably not have enough money.
So it's really deep enough pockets.
Just being educated, not knowing what things cost. Construction is one thing, and paying a designer their fees is another. It's everything that you forget about that will come up. Oh, I got to pay this guy. I got to do this. I got to order this. You got to do website, content. You got to,
social media.
Yeah, you got to do all your food photographs. You got to just do everything. Like I said earlier, just down to the napkins and the plates and this silverware. Yeah, it's just all those added costs that are beyond construction is a lot of times more than what the construction costs.
So it's not sexy. It's all the back end stuff. It's not sexy.
It's just all the all the stuff that's you don't see and touch. Yeah, all the stuff you have to pay for. The equipment cost is expensive. Just the infrastructure of just retrofitting a building just to make it work into a restaurant is just very expensive.
So, I mean, like almost everybody at one point, I think, has thought like, I'd love to have a restaurant. Like, what do you think is the appeal of that? Like, why do people want to have a restaurant?
I think it's just the sexiness of it and having fun and just having a place to go. I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of reasons why people want to own a bar or a restaurant. You know? I mean, midlife crisis. I mean, there's just so many different reasons why a guy wants to do something. But yeah, I don't know. They think they see success and they I can do that. It's just not as easy as it looks. It's really hard.
I want to go off script and take a moment to thank Rodney over here. Rodney, he made the connection. He brought Tyler Duncan to the show. So hey, thank you, Rodney.
Hey, and it's your birthday month. Happy birthday!
Yeah, birthday month. Hey, we got it.
I know Rodney for how long have I known you, Rodney? Long time. Yeah.
Like my brother to me.
Yeah,
Oh, there
brother
you
from
go.
another mother.
Brother
There
from
we
another
go.
mother. There you go.
Yeah, we good.
I'm gonna tap a little bit into the tech world a little bit. How is technology changing restaurant design, you think?
Technology, it's getting better. Even with like the POS systems, they're getting smarter. They're doing inventory control. They're tracking things better than used to be pen and paper.
Like alcohol tracking. You and I
all
talked
that.
about that.
I mean, you still have to do your inventory. There's apps out there that you can take a picture of your bottle and it'll tell you how much you have.
It can even estimate
or weigh it or whatever. There's many different technology things, technological things that you can do. But that comes with a cost. Like some of these restaurants are like, I mean, that's a $25,000, $30,000 investment just to have that POS system.
Or you could just have your person.
Yeah, and
faster.
they're going to mess up.
Yeah,
Or they're going to put it in
making
their car.
mistakes.
They'll take out the trash and they're taking out a bottle.
Employee theft's got to be huge.
It's very huge. Yeah, and there's some of the things that we do with our design. Like we had to kind of like stage that in the back. Like we'll have like a door and another door and cameras and like how the dumpster's laid out. There's things you have to think about.
So even the design, you're looking at minimizing.
We try to,
employee
because
theft.
we know it happens. Yeah,
But by the design, they at least know, okay, at least they got to really go out of their way to know, like there's cameras, there's multi steps. You've got to really go out of your way.
Yep.
It's not, if you make it less easy, then they can.
Yeah, but in this world, it still happens. You can record all you want, but who's really watching? Until some event happens, that happens.
The audit comes back, you're like, whoa,
you have to look. It's all about your controlling your cost for a restaurant operator. Just seeing that there's a upswing. That's like, well, my food cost is way more than what it should be, because there's percentage based on everything, like how much money you should make, and compared to what your food costs. So if you see your food costs going up, there's something going on. Either they're not ringing things up, like you'll have a bartender that'll serve their friend and not ring it up, or you'll have an employee taking a steak in the back and just, like acting like he's taking out trash, and he'll just go throw it in.
Take a few T-bones with them.
Yep.
Jeez,
I mean, it happens. It happens on the.
Hey man, good quality steak. Hey,
every restaurant, it happens. It really does.
Oh man.
well, right now AI is crazy, big buzz. Have you integrated any kind of AI into your design, or are you guys still people first?
We have actually started that. I with a lot of resistance from me, because we try to be very true when it comes to design. We want it to be our own. A lot of designers had relied on Instagram, or when I was growing up, we had magazines, but now we had Instagram, not Instagram, but Pinterest. I'm sorry, Pinterest, is we relied more on Pinterest, on like kind of getting inspiration. Now this whole AI world is crazy what it can do. And so what I try to teach my staff is like, all right, you can get inspiration from that, but just don't copy it. You got to make it your own.
What about to like create like a mock-up or something?
Yeah,
It's
and that's very
like CAD design back in the day. I mean, super slow and tedious. Like
we still have to do all the technical drawings and get everything spaced, but we can take a model, we can build it in 3D, and we can throw in AI and enhance it. So that's what we do to enhance or renderings. We use AI in doing that. When we do these, what we call mood boards, like we do like this board of like different venues of like, hey, this is what we think your aesthetic should look like for a restaurant. If there's one thing that's in that picture that we just absolutely hate, we just take it in AI. I was like, hey, change that to red wine on the, whatever, and it just does it like that. So that's been very helpful.
So for speed of being able to just present,
that has been very helpful. But
one of the things that made me more baffled about you was you can take a design from the studs all the way down to the color of the chair, to the buttons of like that booth, the table. Like, dude, like you talk about creating moments. I was like baffled. Like every time I would just take a moment to sit back and I would look at, I'm like, you did that? That was your job. That is quite impressive.
Not just me, it's my team. My team is I have a great team. So I can't take full credit. I can guide them in a way.
Down to the light post, down to the wine room. I was like, did you do all this? And you said, yes, I did all this. You designed this. And so what, do you ever talk to the business owner and say, listen, here's what I think is going to be a good fit for your restaurant, especially at a private club or...
Yep.
Really? And do you provide a design before you make the call for it? Or
well, we do that mood board. We'll do it like a space plan, and we'll do a mood board, like kind of capture that aesthetics of the space.
That's impressive.
We do it all for every project. It's like, this is what we think it should look like, and 9 out of 10 times we nail it on the first time.
Yeah,
and that's led to like very success. Like, we have some celebrity clients that are just like that because they're work for so many creative people, and like, wow, no one's ever done that.
You can just bring it in, but that's the experience and just bringing that in from that.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. And you ever tell a business owner, listen, that's not a good move. I think you should go this route.
Yeah, I've talked myself out of jobs many times.
Wow.
Yeah. Or I'll sit there and argue. I if I feel strongly about something, I'll voice my opinion. It's like, look, I think this is the wrong move. This is why. A lot of times they listen. Most times they listen. I mean, they hired me for a reason. So like, they need my input. We've done over 600 restaurants, and it's just like this, like the back of my hand.
No, I mean, you're really dialed in. So like in the current market, with the way the economy's going, buying trends have changed. One area I'm curious about, so with COVID, you have more people ordering out.
Yep.
Do you see even higher end restaurants with the capabilities to do delivery or catering, or is that kind of a...
the COVID actually for the restaurant industry, it really hurt them. But in the state of Texas, it was a great thing. Because now you can take alcohol to go. Before you couldn't do that. You would have to try to stink it out. Now you can just order margarita, take it to go. So that's been very helpful.
So to-go sales are bumped up.
So that with the laws that the Texas has done, every state's different. When it comes to go, that is still a thing. Uber Eats and all those other services, that actually hurts the restaurants because they have to pay so much for that service. They really...
So it eats into the margins.
It really eats into the margins because in a restaurant there's very little margins. Like you're lucky to hit like 18%, 17% off your gross. So if you get these other these apps that are just taking,
if you get these middlemen, it's not.
Yep. In a lot of restaurants they don't do delivery. Like maybe
like Uber Eats. What's the percentage they take on?
I don't know anything about Uber Eats.
What is Uber Eats?
I don't really know. It's a lot. It's a lot. And a lot of times in some restaurants have gotten smart. They're like, this is the Uber Eats price.
So they'll have a separate price.
You go to the
just call me.
It's like going to Turkey. It's like, do you want is Instable like the Turkish price or the American price? They always had two different menus. Like it's like
Let me look at your local menu. I may not read it, but I'm going to use my translator.
How important is the customer journey when designing a restaurant space?
It's It's very important. The journey. Having the moments like I described earlier.
Like when I walked into Cattleman's, when I walked in, the first thing I looked, first of all, the stained glass. That was really cool. And then as soon as I walk in, it's just the floor, of how you did the tile work was absolutely insane. And then I just walk up the stairs and I was like, who the hell did this?
It's very detailed. You know, every little square inch of that place, and a lot of our restaurants, there's a lot of detail that goes into that. Because I don't know, maybe call me crazy, but I think it's very important. You know, and especially for clients that can afford that. You know, because not a lot of clients in restaurants they can't afford that detail
To that extent.
So we kind of have to pick and choose. You know, knowing what their budget is. And so we kind of pick and choose what those moments should be. A lot of people don't care about the floors. Some people, you know, it's more eye level stuff.
If they're not looking up, they're not looking down.
Even though I hate exposed ceilings, the worst thing in a restaurant.
Paint them black, just don't worry about it.
I mean,
You see that so often.
You do, yeah, you do.
I mean, it's a huge call. Even drop ceiling, all this kind of stuff. It's just and lighting. I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole for a second. I'm a photographer. Lighting for me often, if you're wanting to have these moments where people are taking selfies and taking pictures, not only restaurants but even event spaces, the lighting is usually bad. Like it might look nice on the walls or things, but it's typically not very friendly for a phone.
Yep.
Is that something that you're taking into consideration now? Because
it's always been that way for me. Lighting is always
okay for
been,
you. You've seen that, not just color, temperature, and the quality of the light, but just the direction of light. It's
right.
I see so often it's just these. It could be hard lighting, or it's almost like a murder thing, a scene where you're interrogating. It's almost like you're trying to take a selfie, and it looks like an interrogation. It's just a really hard.
That's very important. I'm glad you asked that because it's color temperature is changing. Everything used to be 2,700 Kelvin was
flat, incandescent,
was the
boom,
warm light. We're designing restaurants down to the 2,200 Kelvin.
That warm, wow.
Yeah, very warm, and it just makes the skin look better. Down lighting, it's hard. Like if it's really spot, like you said, interrogation. That's something hard. You have to have a specific beam spread so you don't have that glow in your back of your bald head. Uplighting on a bar, like we did Tycoon and
It's making
Flower Mound.
you're making everybody look good at your restaurants.
But you know, I told the guys like don't do a uplit back bar. Just don't do it. It's just the shadows that it creates. It just makes you just look. Just gross. I mean, just older.
That makes you like the villain, like in cinema.
shadows.
In cinema, you have the light at the bottom, and just like it just looks like you're the villain, and the lights, like
Yeah.
Well, even some of the materials, like some of the bars too, you can have where the stone is more not transparent, but you can actually light the stone,
Right.
and create more of a glow around.
We've done that, but
everywhere.
it's just the uplighting.
But it's too strong.
It's too
But you
strong.
still need to counterbalance it with something.
Yep.
At least high enough to where you have some feel, like, or like more of a. Even right now, like I've got in the studio. People can't see this, but I'm older. Where most people we're interviewing are typically not in their 20s anymore, so we're using kind of a soft light here.
Right.
Yeah, we're trying to soften this up as much as we can. Even when I'm doing my headshots, I'm trying to. We can make it moody and dramatic, but most of the people that I'm dealing with, they're gonna like, hey man, listen, let's soften that up a little bit. So I'm taking that into consideration. The majority of the clients I work with aren't 20 years old. So it's. You can't get away with that hard contrast, super hard lighting. We're trying to soften it up, and
we try to rely on ambient lighting as much as possible. Every table, unless you have like one of those battery operated table lamps, all the lighting that's in a restaurant, if it's not ambient, like lighting on the wall, like lighting up a feature or artwork, the only lighting that you have is just on the tables. There's no other extra lighting along the pathways because that's just enough light just to illuminate the space. Because you'll walk in a restaurant like, God, it's so bright. Just turn it down.
So sitting down now, I'm 46. I've got it. This is just a personal thing. Sometimes I get a menu and I can't read it now. And it's not just lighting. It might be dark. Maybe I should wear glasses. But then here I am with my flashlight on my phone.
On your phone.
And that's super embarrassing. But I'm like, I literally can't read it. I have to ask my wife sometimes, like, hey, or the check. Like the check comes and.
Yep.
I mean, are these things you even think about, like maybe having like a little like a book light or something on?
Did you have
or it's digital. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Certain things.
To me, it's too gimmicky.
It's
too
much.
Hate that. Yeah, you
still want to be classy and nice.
And digital menu or iPad on. I think that's
heavy and it's.
I think it's just it's not classy enough for me. It depends on the venue too, but I like that old school like.
Keep it.
I even hate that little cash register toast thing that they bring out to the table. I think it's
bringing out.
It's just. Yes, I know that they're not going to steal my credit card number, You know,
But just
I
take
know
my
that,
credit
but
card.
it's just the classiness of that's kind
providing
of gone
you
away.
a slip. Here's a receipt, and here's my card,
Yeah,
and
it's
a
just kind of gone away.
handshake, and what was
and
your
it's
name?
faster for service, and you get but you know, and even Chili's they try, or maybe it was not Chili's, but they even did that digital thing on the table.
Yeah, they have even kiosks.
Little kiosks you pay out. That's just.
But it just
you
kind of
lose
takes away
that
from
human-
the family interaction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
lose that
went to
interaction.
Chili's. My you know the one in I live near you, in Flower Mound. You know we went to Chili's and there's like little screen. My kids were nowhere near interacting with us. They were just focused on the damn screen.
Yep.
You know. Wow.
And like even phones, like everyone, you go in a restaurant, you look around, everyone's on their phone.
Are they really?
Oh yeah, I see that a lot.
I know my family. I make them put away. I'm like, here,
Yeah,
put it
that's
away.
great. You know,
We're gonna
that's
sit here and
just-
talk, and
you see that a lot. Just everyone's just sitting there, like no one's engaged in conversation. That's kind of gone away.
Yeah.
well, so let me ask you about that. So this is something that's what I love about this. We turn our phones off. We sit down. We talk for an hour or whatever. I love this. I love the podcast format, not just for having content, but to really have a conversation with someone. Taking that into like the design, the acoustics, you're talking about loud, how a restaurant can get loud. How are you guys bringing people into the space from a design perspective to create like just a more friendly environment for people to just have a good time from the lounge or restaurants? The acoustics, like the noise can get kind of loud. Is that sort of part of the consideration?
It's very hard, and like even the materials that are out there that deaden sound are just ugly. You know, and very.
Look at my walls. It's not.
Very,
it's not very. I've got these. Yeah, it's not pretty.
That's
but
probably one of the things. It's like it's a challenge, and to make it look sexy, it's very hard. You know, there's things that you can do, like like have a drapery. You can have anything that can absorb sound as much as you can, but you have to be mindful of a restaurant that they don't clean like they should. You know,
And it
like
just collects
a rug
dust
in
and
a
it
restaurant. It just looks dirty and just gross. You know,
so you're having a lot of hard surfaces. You're going to have a lot of an echo. You're going to have a lot of noise.
So, but I think with this new trend of making smaller dining spaces, that helps. That helps. Going away from the big open restaurant and to a little smaller dining.
Like the cutting and Kittleman's, like that section.
That's kind of help.
Yeah.
But sectioning it off, and you have barriers kind of breaking it up, so that whole roar doesn't just build.
No, but I like what you did in Cattleman's. It's like you can have dinner, and then you can go outside of the patio and enjoy a show.
Everything that, like every restaurant that we try to do, try to create an experience, and then when you come back, you have a different experience. You know, where you sit or what dining room you're in, or just like a place in the restaurant. You always have a different experience every time you go. That's very important for me when it comes to design.
I got another question for you, off script, and feel free to answer this one. What was one of your favorite restaurants you've ever designed?
I've done a lot.
Yeah. What was like?
That's very hard.
You walked away and you're like,
I think I just recently. I mean, I know this whole podcast is all about Cattleman's, but I think Cattleman's was probably
that's a pretty cool restaurant.
Because they hired me. The client was just amazing, very creative client. They challenged me to renovate a 1947 restaurant down to the studs. Bring in new electricity, bring in new gas, bring in a sprinkler system, elevator, because we did the construction as well, and never closed down. We did.
That's
open
the
the whole
most
time?
impressive part. He didn't close down the whole time.
We did not close down one single day.
Yeah.
So it was an operational restaurant, and y'all did it piece by piece?
Piece by piece.
Wow.
Yep. Dining room by dining room, and we would be building behind walls, and people would just not even know it. Wow. We would be building an elevator behind a finished wall, and you never know.
Was a lot of the construction done at nighttime for noise, or were you able to do a lot
luckily
of day?
That the building was so thick of concrete that it helped eliminate some of that noise transfer. We just kind of the jackhammering stuff. They kind of picked our times when we did it during the day, but we really didn't have to work overtime. Yeah,
wow, that's pretty wild. So you did a whole renovation. They were able to stay operational the whole time.
Yeah, never lost one day of sales.
That's pretty wild.
Unreal.
I mean, it's everything.
Here, restaurant owners,
Everything.
Tyler Duncan. Here you go.
Just new gas system, new sewer, new electricity, like sprinkler system.
We're taking everything up to code, bringing everything up.
Yep. I mean, we pretty much gutted. We moved bathrooms, we moved kitchens. Like it was crazy.
You tore that place to the studs. I mean,
everything. Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, not just the design side from your firm, but you guys are also acting as GC. I mean,
Yep.
so you're able to be full service.
Yep.
From the creative to the final delivery. There's not very many people that do that.
No.
No, I mean
No,
not
there's
to that extent. I mean, usually you've got people you're trying to coordinate.
They
back
try
and
to do
forth.
it like they'll try a builder try to be an architect or a designer, and it's just they kind of struggle to get in that little niche.
But throughout the years, you were able to develop the relationships with down to the bricklayer, down to woodwork, everything.
Yep.
You know, everything.
But you consider yourself. I mean, I think you're more of a designer first, artist first, before a builder.
You know, I always take it as
Or-
approach as both. Always wear both hats at the same time. You know, and a lot we get a lot of work from other GCs because of that. Because we speak their language. You know, there's always a fight between an architect and a general contractor all the time. We're more realist when it comes to things, and like if they'll come to me and say, "Hey, I messed up. You know, can we come up with a solution?" It's like, absolutely, we'll figure it out. So make it look good. We don't build everything that we design by choice. You know, we try to stay, more boutique, more serviceable to our clients. And interesting enough, like I had those two companies. Like we even started a manufacturing company too. So now we're going to be making the furniture, making the millwork, and then overseas, and then bringing it in for our projects. You know, like even custom tile that that would normally cost $75 a square foot. We're actually making the same product for $25 a square foot.
So you're able to come in and lower
Yep.
still have a
Same
margin, but lower the cost overall.
No,
on the
I
job.
pass that on to the client. Like we bid one project just recently, and I was $1 million less than 3 other bidders.
Because you're able to come in and source.
I built those relationships.
You build the relationships.
And then went direct to factories and able to.
You went directly to the supplier.
Yep.
And gotcha.
So like you still keep everything custom. Like we customized all the tile and everything else. We'll just find someone else to make it. We cut the middleman out, and to go to these other countries. Unfortunately, labor is cheaper. You know, so I don't. You know, I'm not very when it comes to money. Money's not my number one priority. It's more passion. You know, if I can save the client some money and by being creative, I'll do it. And I think that's a lot of it. The reason why that I'm at where I'm at now, it's just the referral basis. You know, it's just the honesty and integrity behind it, and just like I said earlier, you do zero marketing. It's all 100% referrals.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
20 years in the business. I got 2 more questions for you. For any business owner that's interested in opening a restaurant, how would that work? What would a consultation look like? Should they contact you? How does that work? Like, what would be the first step? Hey, I'm a business owner. I'm doing pretty well. I'm thinking about opening a restaurant, and they want to contact you. What would be the first steps?
I want to meet them in person.
Okay.
I want to see their spot if they have a spot. A lot of times they already have a pre-selected location. I want to see it and feel it. I can't just do it through Zoom, or I'll travel and go look at it. And then I dig in deeper. It's like, all right, what's your budget? You know, what's your vision? And if I feel that if they're a tire kicker or just don't have enough money, I'll tell them. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm not the right guy. It's like, this is a bad decision you're making. Yeah, I've said that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, restaurants they can make you a fortune, or they can cost you a fortune. I mean, they're
very few don't make a lot of money in restaurants. Like I said earlier, it's the number one failing business.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, like it's funny. Like we've done one building or several buildings. We're on the 3rd renovation of that same building. Like we'll design something, and like 6-7 years later, we're ripping out our design and coming up with a different concept. We're actually doing it right now, and on McKinney Avenue in Dallas.
Wow, that's impressive. And the final question: any future projects besides restaurants you want to do? Anything else, like maybe I want to get back into the clubs, maybe do something cool?
Yeah, the clubs are kind of going away.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll come back. Everything comes back. Like it's just like fashion. Everything comes back. You know, we're doing for some of our high-end clients. We're doing their mansions right now.
Wow.
So that's been kind of a new kind of twist. you know, and I don't know
down
why.
To the stud, down to the cow, down to.
I mean, I just tore this guy's house down, down to the dirt. I was actually in the middle of the ocean, and I had my crews just tearing down his house, so he can build a mansion where it was. Yeah. And I don't know why I agreed to do it. I'll probably end up getting divorced, or I don't know, moving somewhere like closer to the site. But yeah, I have a hard problem saying no sometimes. And
is it because you like to accept the challenge? Like, hey,
it's a challenge.
Yeah, I've never done it before, but I like to give it a shot. Okay, that
right there is just a challenge. To can you renovate this restaurant and never close me down? Okay, sure.
I've been there.
Love it. That's where it gets my juices flowing. It's a challenge, really.
Yeah.
You know, and the passion behind it.
Yeah.
It's that's it right there.
Wow.
Well, Tyler Duncan.
Tyler Duncan,
this has been awesome. So, guys, I mean, he has a big wait list. You know, you're working on several projects already. But do you have some room? Do you have a little bit of bandwidth where you could take on some new projects at the moment?
You know, we've been hiring, actively hiring. We actually have a new girl coming next week. We never have enough bandwidth. You know, even during COVID, we were hiring people. During every downturn of the economy, we were hiring people every time. Never had a single layoff since I've been in business. So
real fast. So with the economy, with the things people are coming out of school, what's one thing you could give someone a tip that's in architect or design that's wanting to get into this type of business if they're applying?
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. It's not a money making field.
Well, can I add something to that? Can I add something to that?
Don't do it.
No, I want to add something to that. Can somebody
Don't do it.
Can somebody shadow Tyler Duncan? Shadow your team. Can there be do you guys accept anybody to shadow you guys?
Internships
at
or
all?
You know, we're so busy. Like interns always want to be under us. It's so hard because we have to stop and train them.
You've got work to do.
We are like a learning firm. We try to train as much as, try to make every person well-rounded as much as possible. But, when we try to hire somebody, you have to have some type of experience. I just hired my son. He's finally working for me. I did the same shit that my dad did to me.
Hey, man,
so.
go out, do it.
Yeah. Let someone else pay for your mistakes. Then come,
Now
so,
you're not going to cost me a fortune to train you. Come on back.
So now he's learning in a totally different way. He's like, this is a little bit different than I'm used to. It's so eventually, I think.
Then you got to bring him on board, do a 3 interviewing process, and see if he gets approved. And get
all the we're all friends at the firm. They that's like, let's have them. Yeah, let's have them here. It's been great. Yeah, it really has.
Wow.
I think I hope he can grow into what I've done and keep it going. When I'm 6 feet under.
Hey, well, cheers to that. Here's to
to
design.
Tyler Duncan, man.
All right, man.
Cheers. Thank you so much for coming to the Founders Lounge.
Cheers.
We do one of these at the end of the Founders Lounge.
Rodney.
We'll clap it.
Right.
Hey, here we go. Cheers. Thank you, Rodney.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. All right. Thank you, guys.
3. Wait, we got to slap it. Ready? We're going to do one of these.
Do this? All right.
There you
3,
go.
2, 1, and we go. Boom.
Dibujaron con un pincel, bella tropa no si puede, va de hotel en hotel.